What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a movie that a lot of people are having some pretty big opinions about. And yeah, you probably are all going to hate me for this one. So this one's about a wonderful knife. Knife, get it? Wonderful life. Knife. Let's get into it. So yeah, I've been seeing opinions about this movie all over the place. I remember playing in the festivals. I didn't get a chance to see it because it was on lockdown. Some of my friends on YouTube did, and have not really had that many kind of things to say about the film, to be honest with you. Now, this is a movie that is, of course, directed by Tyler McIntyre, who is the director of Patchwork and Tragedy Girls. And Michael Kennedy is helping to write this story, which he wrote Freaky, which Freaky decided to take a slasher and slam it into Freaky Friday, which that came out after Happy Death Day, which Happy Death Day took a slasher and tried to put it into Groundhog Day. Thus, we have It's a Wonderful Knife, which is exactly the same thing, only they're taking a slasher and putting it into It's a Wonderful Life. So what is it all about? Well, after saving her town, Angel Falls, by the way, from a psychotic killer who was on a rampage killing all of her friends and her brother, Winnie Carruthers' life is actually pretty bad after that. And she is not being recognized by any of her friends. Everyone just wants to move on with their lives and just get on with it. And so one night on a bridge, much like It's a Wonderful Life, she wishes that she was never born. And she finds herself in a parallel nightmare universe where without her, things could be much, much worse, including her saving that killer. Now, this movie stars a lot of people, okay? So we got Justin Long, who plays Henry Waters, the mayor, one of the weirdest, silliest roles I think Justin Long's done. I've seen him do plenty of weird roles. I think he was in another movie with Tragedy Girls where they go to the yoga instructor. I think he was in that one. Then we also have Joel McHale, who's in this, who plays the father of Winnie as the lead actress. She is played by Jane Widdop. And we also have Catherine Isabel. She plays the aunt of Winnie. And then we have Jess McLeod, who is Bernie the weirdo. At first, and I'm just going to tell you right up front, this movie is weird, man. Like, there is a lot of different things going on in this movie that don't really make sense. And I think that's where a lot of the viewers are getting hung up on this movie, is that nothing connects in the way that a traditional movie would be. This movie is heavily inspired by the 90s. It feels like it's like this 90s kind of upbeat comedy that just doesn't feel real. If you guys remember the 90s, like the 90s comedies were just like this, like they were their own island of reality sometimes, like things didn't really work or exist exactly like it does here in reality. It was more of like they created the movie to be built around making a joke in some ways. But this movie isn't like slapsticky, silly 90s. It's like a dry sort of humor that is kind of like a so bad it's good feel. But let's just say it breaks reality in a lot of ways. Like literally the way I feel that this movie is written is like two guys who are high as fuck were like watching It's a Wonderful Life and they're like, hey man, wouldn't it be like really funny if like George Bailey like came back and like his girlfriend was like a total fucking meth addict and like, everybody was like really fucked up. Like, I feel like that's kind of what it is. Or like a pair of aliens came to Earth, got really baked, and then went back, and then this is their version of what humans are like, because everything in this movie does not follow the typical way that, reality goes. Like, people react in different ways, do things that you wouldn't normally do in other movies, sort of accept and believe things that you shouldn't just accept or believe. It breaks a lot of rules, and I think that's why a lot of people are just not happy with it. I'm not saying that's the only reason. There's probably many reasons. I kind of laughed at some parts, and I felt like I was laughing at it in some ways in that sort of so bad it's good way, which kind of feels a little guilty, but I love those kind of things anyway. I watched Firestarter, the remake, and I hate to say it, but I was cracking up. I was laughing like how ridiculous it was. And I was like almost hoping that they would just turn the main girl who's like has this fire powers into just a murder machine and just going around and just melting people. Like I almost wish that the movie would have gone there because it felt like that's where it was headed because it was like so over the top. And in the same way, this movie goes in directions that are just so over the top that other people are going to be like, what? Why would you do that? And I get it. They're not wrong. I mean, they're totally right. Like it breaks all the rules. So yeah, if you don't like that kind of thing, it breaking the rules, and you're not going to like this movie. You know, I really did like Tragedy Girls. I liked Freaky. I liked Patchwork. You know, they were different. You know, it wasn't like exactly the same, but you know, it was like Happy Death Day or Freaky or anything like that. This is definitely a little bit down, a step down from that, I think, in a way, but there were still some things in it that I actually kind of liked. It is really all over the place, and a lot of people have every right to feel the way they do about it. And please understand, guys, this is just, you know, it just didn't bother me as much as it did everybody else. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for that. I'm not trying to hand it an award and saying it's like, you know, better than fucking The Shining or something like that. I'm just saying it's an enjoyable film. Not all films are meant to be 10s. Not all films are meant to be 1s either, by the way. Whoever you are in the IMDb sections and fucking Rotten Tomatoes giving everything a 1. It's like, it's not just like or don't like. There's like a myriad of different things in between, in my opinion. So, and I'm not saying just because you don't like this movie, you're this type of person. But if you're one of those people that makes like 50 videos about a woman being cast in a role, or there's a gay person in it and that happens to kiss, and you write like, you know, 50 pages of like crazy shit for a bunch of people on the internet, this is not going to be for you, boy, because this is definitely a diverse movie in some ways. But I didn't personally feel like it was shoved down my throat. It just was in the movie, and I don't know, like it's a part of the story, and it ends up using it at the end of the story too. Like it's a part of the actual characters. It didn't bother me at all. But for you guys, you know, you might want to go watch some porn or something, you know, more realistic. Anyways, this movie does a lot of really different things that I was not expecting. The comedy mostly, it hits like inadvertently. I was laughing at shit that I felt like kind of bad about laughing about in inappropriate ways. And, you know, it wasn't like they were leading me down a path to joke or laugh about it. But I had a few cackles from the movie. It almost didn't feel right. So I'm sure some people were rolling their fucking eyes in these moments. And I may actually just get into some spoilers here in a little bit just to kind of explain what I mean by that, just because. Like, I feel like it deserves some explanation. And I also want to point out that some of the kills in the movie are actually okay. There was one in particular that I really liked, but there was nothing like over the moon. It's more of just the movie's kind of enjoyable in that sense, you know, depending on the person or the viewer, obviously. And I also liked the way that the killer looked. Like, I thought it was kind of neat and unique a little bit, although some people pointed out that the knife looked a lot like Malignant's knife. There was even some sentimental value in this movie in a way that I actually kind of liked, because like the main character and this Bernie character, Winnie and Bernie together were kind of like, I don't know, it's something about them that was kind of sentimental, and it kind of worked in some weird way. The main mayor is just so bizarrely over the top. You just kind of wonder what the fuck is going on like the whole time with that guy. But the whole town is just like ridiculous. At one point in time, there's some things that happen that just make no goddamn sense. It literally feels like aliens made the Matrix, and this is what they thought like human beings would react like. So I can see why like other people are like, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. Anyway, I'm really excited to do this review because I know I'm going to get so much shit from you guys because I kind of liked it in some weird way. I'm not saying that like everybody hated it. I don't think anybody did. I just think it's not meant for everybody. Like some movies just, you know, they think it's going to be for a wide particular type of humor, and it's not. It's like when you realize that you think you're funny, and then when you go out in the public and you start telling your jokes, nobody gets it. And you're just sitting there laughing by yourself like an idiot. I got it. I laughed. I thought it was kind of funny in some moments. Like my body and everything was telling me like right off the bat, like, okay, this is not realistic. Like what is going on? When the whole thing switches, like in It's a Wonderful Life, you know, it switches into a world where they never existed. And George, you know, goes and through all these different things. He has a guide alongside of him. And the spin on this, I think, is actually more interesting by the end. But I think people are going to get really extremely hung up on the reality of the situation where it switches without her. Like when she switches into this world, it is completely ridiculous what is going on in this world. I think people are more focused on wanting it to be more based in reality than this movie is trying to be. So if that helps you understand a little bit more, like I wish I could explain it more. I'll tell you more in the spoiler section that I'm going to do at the end of this. You'll understand it better then. Like it is just so over the top. It's going to be hard for some people to really swallow, but I still, in the end of the movie, I actually kind of liked it. I liked how it ended. Some genuine laughs that I had in the movie. I was laughing at the movie and, you know, sorry. And I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way. Maybe it was intentional. I don't fucking know. I think it's like a 6.5. Most people are giving it ones, and I feel like you guys have never seen a movie before. When you say stupid shit like that, like, yeah, be mad, but calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ. Like, I've seen ones. Listen to me.
You do not want to go down the road of the ones I've seen. I could show you hell that you have never seen before.
But it does have that sort of so bad it's good flair. So, you know, like I said, I didn't really like the movie Firestarter, the remake, but I kind of thought it was fun. I enjoyed myself. There is a level of entertainment to this movie that I did enjoy. I like the twists that they put in the movie, whether they were executed perfectly, because the pacing of this movie is also very off. So it like kind of jumps to skip to specific parts that it's supposed to kind of progress the movie forward. So it's like switching through them, and it almost feels kind of inauthentic the way that they do it. I forget, I saw a slasher one time that it was called Hellbent. And all of the characters were gay, and every single one of them. They didn't show a single straight person in the mix, like at all. And that's kind of like what this movie does. It kind of like does its own thing, not necessarily the gay aspect. I just mean like it's doing its own world in this specific way, and you are viewing it from the real world. So it's not the same. So to wrap it up for you guys, look at the movie as though it exists in this island like I've been talking about. And it's almost like a fever dream, like a completely separate, unrelated, unrealistic dream. You might actually get something out of it. Was it my favorite film of the year? No, but I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a 1 out of 10. No offense to anybody. Like, if you're feeling that passionately about it, man, there's got to be something in it. I think people will like it and some won't. It's probably a love-hate thing. I don't think people are going to really love the movie, but I think they can still enjoy it. It's not a terrible watch. I think it's definitely easy to watch. I would pick it up on Blu-ray eventually. I still need to get Freaky. I still need to get Tragedy Girls. And I would also like to get this one at some point in time too. But yeah, I want to spoil some things. So for those of you who've seen the movie, like I just want to show you some of the beats that made me laugh in this movie. You know, like there was like a couple of moments in the film that were so dark and like, what the fuck? And I mean spoilers, like I'm going to spoil the shit out of this. So if you don't want anything spoiled, just don't listen past this, okay? When she goes to the bridge and everything changes where she doesn't exist, she goes back to her house, obviously, to see her family, where her brother has already died, and she's figured that out, obviously. And the dad and the mom are there. But the mom's got like this fucking, she's a meth addict. She's got like an extra partner. Her mom is like fucking some other dude in the house in front of their aunt, in front of everybody. Like, and then there's like this like hatred between her dad and her mom. Like seeing George Bailey's character in It's a Wonderful Life, family members high on fucking meth, was pretty fucking funny to me. What the fuck, dude? Like that to me was just so over the top. Like, but I laughed so hard because it was just too far. I don't mean too far like it's the joke went too far. I just mean like it's not a natural thing a natural progression in the film. And then there was another moment where in the movie where they, you know, of course they find out that the father is the killer. And so after they kill the father, because she goes up the stairs and he gets stabbed in the chest or whatever, they think that she can go back to normal, and like the Aurora Borealis thing is like gonna take her back, and it's like a red version this time instead of green, which is like means it's angry, which is kind of silly, but I don't know, whatever, it makes sense. And then Waters, the mayor, who's played by Justin Long, Henry Waters, is like doing a speech like he does for the tree, only he's doing his naughty or nice thing. And this is where the movie just completely jumps into like Matrix gone bad wrong. People are literally zoned out like fucking robots because he's talking, and their eyes are almost like a tint of blue and like glazed over while he's talking. He literally stabs his own brother in front of them, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? They kill him, they start beating him up together, and then they stab him, and then all of the people that are in the audience, their eyes like open up and they're like, oh my god, I've been in a spell. That's not reality, okay? Like, it's like she had a dream, guys. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, you can't take this movie too seriously, like I said. So I don't know. I like how it wrapped up, though. I liked Bernie's character and Winnie together in general. I thought that was kind of, you know, I don't know, it was sweet. It was nice. I thought it was really cool how the twist at the very end was that Winnie, the main character we've been following this whole story, it was never about her. It was actually always about Bernie. Because if you really pay attention, like, It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey throws himself off of the bridge to try to basically end himself, and Clarence goes to save him, to get his wings. So in this movie, it's Bernie doing the same wish about her life and how she wants to end it. And so then Winnie is technically the Clarence getting her wings to save her love, you know, the person that she's supposed to save, which is Bernie. So it was really a twist on that in a way that I kind of liked in some weird way. Like, I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. Is that, because like in the very beginning, she's like, I need you to be my Clarence, when they leave the party and Bernie comes with her and believes her that she's not the killer. And she's like, yes, I'll be your Clarence. So I knew instantly, like right there, about the Clarence situation, how they were trying to draw inspiration from that, but I had no idea that Bernie was actually the George Bailey, and it was never meant to be Winnie. So, but yeah, again, some people are going to hate it, and maybe they didn't even notice that. I don't know. If you hate it, have fun hating it, man. Whatever you got to do. Just don't go on and on about it. You know, like I know there's sometimes we have that thing inside of us. It's like,
why does everybody like this? Why do I feel alone?
Well, I feel alone now because I feel like most of my friends didn't like this movie. And for some reason, maybe I just had lower expectations and, yeah, in the end liked it. So what do you think of my thoughts on this movie? Do you think I'm out of my mind? I'm on one? Like, I don't care. You know, like, we're not going to like all the same shit. If you think that you're going to come to my channel and we're all going to like the same shit on every fucking movie, you're out of your mind, man. Like, there's nobody in this world that will ever have the same taste as you. And there's a myriad of reasons why they may like something over you or not. It could be like this movie. If she never existed, this and this didn't happen. Well, if I hadn't seen this movie, I would have never had this opinion about this, and this movie. So it's a butterfly effect of like opinions, I guess, if you will. So, but anyway, thanks for coming by, guys. And as always, long live the void.